So hello everyone, it is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace. Today we're gonna get into my favorite blush, bronzers, and highlighters of 2021. I hope you brought a snack, I hope you brought a drink, I hope you ready to get cozy and relax underneath your favorite blanket and watch this, because girl, it's a lot because it's me and it's always a lot. So we got blushes, bronzers, and highlighters as far as cream and powder go. Then we're gonna do the face palettes last as far as blush, bronzers, and highlighters. And then we should be done. So this is probably gonna be like another 20-30 minute video. Let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with the bronzer, then I'm gonna do the blush, then I'm gonna do the highlighter as far as cream and liquid and individual ones. Then we're gonna go into the face palettes last. So let's start off with these cream bronzers. So I have the Face Trace Contour Stick from Mented Cosmetics, the little set I bought in the shade Truffle. Now, this is fine for the winter time, but it's not going to be dark enough in the summertime at all. But it's a nice product. I'm probably not going to buy it again, but it is a really nice product, and I have been using it a lot, so I figured I would show it. I ran out of my Burberry Contour Stick, which is actually my ultimate favorite cream thing as far as sticks go. But I ran out. I haven't been to any, what do you call those places? Nordstrom's racks to get any more or look for any more, and I had like 2 of them, and I had already used up one, and I took the one from here home to use because I use it for work every day. But this is really nice. This is my alternative here at grandma's house for that. I usually just put it in this part right here. I will put it on the sides of my face sometimes too. Only thing with this is, since the coloring doesn't show up that well, I would have to make sure I use a dark enough bronzer to make sure it works. But it's a nice product. It's just expensive for what it is, in my personal opinion, but the formula of it is really nice, so I figured I'd still go ahead and show it. Plus, you can get it in a gift set, and then, you know, maybe that make it worth it to you because you get to try all 3 products, because the blush is going to be in here as well, just a FYI. Next, I have the Dionluvsmakeup Powder Bronzer, Matte Bronzing, and Shaping Cream. So, I have the shade Deep. This stuff is amazing. As you see, my brush has been in it and using it. This is really nice. This is quite a pigmented product, so you just need to keep that in mind when you're putting it on. It's like the Tan Tour from Huda Beauty. This is going to be real pigmented, so you need to be light-handed with it. Otherwise, you're going to be out here looking crazy, or be trying to put foundation over it to blend out the issue of you putting too much on and looking crazy. It does dry down to a powder finish. Me being me, and because I'm an oily person, I just put a little bit of bronze on top of it just to be safe. But it dries down to a powder finish, just like it says, since it says it's a cream, but at the same time says it's a powder, which is what I was confused about when I first bought it. But it's a really good product. I really like it, and I wanted to shout it out in this video because it's excellent. Next, I have the Casino Sun Kiss Bronzing Cream from NARS. I believe this came out this year. Do not quote me. So many cream bronzers came out this year, but I feel like this one came out this year. I tried to watch back my videos and make sure I knew all the products that came out this year, because y'all know I make a video like every day of the week, it seems like. So yeah, a lot of stuff came out this year. This was one that's really nice because it's a neutral bronzer, and I feel like it's hard to find neutral bronzers for people with my skin tone, because it's like they either want to give you a really red one, or you get starting to get the yellow ones like Fenty put out. But sometimes you just want a nice neutral one. So I like the fact that this is neutral, just like the powder. The only thing is, I feel like this isn't as deep in tone as the powder is, which is something I don't necessarily like about it. But you can put the actual powder bronzer on top of it, and then it'll look nice. Or you can just use this if you have dry skin, and it should be fine, because if I remember correctly, this dries down to a powder finish too. But since I have oily combination skin, I don't take any chances. I still put powder products on top of these things, okay? I don't trust them. So I only have one contour thing besides the cream contour stick from Mented, so I figured I'll show that now. This is the Kevyn Aucoin, the sculpting powder in the shade Deep. Believe it or not, this is actually my first time using it this year. I bought it off Beauty Bay when they had it on sale for like 20 bucks, and the minute I put it on, I was like, now I see what all the hype was. Now, I'm mad this is small as hell, but for 20 bucks, I mean, it's fine. I didn't have to pay the regular price that it cost, which I think is like 35 or something like that, which I thought was high for such a small thing. But I do see the hype in this now. I love this. This gives a gorgeous contour to the skin. If I have to use any contour, I would most likely use this. I do use my Patrick Top from time to time to go to work, but like if I had a special event or something I wanted to go to, this is the contour I would use, because this is immaculate. I absolutely love that product, and I'm so glad I have it in my collection now. And I will, every time I see it on sale, I'll most likely buy it, because I feel like I'm going to run out of that quick. Whenever I want a contour, that's the product I plan on going to. Next, I have the LYS No Limits Matte Bronzer in the shade Strength. This bronzer is amazing. I like to use it a lot. It's really smooth on the skin, but it builds up beautifully. It doesn't leave any patchiness behind. It's just really a nice product, and I absolutely love it. Next I have, of course, I feel like y'all should have known this was going to be in here, my Dior Forever Natural Bronze in the shade Deep Bronze number 8. I think this is the deepest shade they have, but I mean, at least they have a shade that matches me, because the contour set they came out with Dior backstage, they still ain't made one to match me. So, I mean, I guess this was supposed to make up for that. I don't know. But this is a really nice product. Of course, it has that perfumey smell because it's Dior, but it's really nice. It has a pen in the back. I don't know if you can refill this or not like you can with Charlotte's Tilbury, but there's a pen back there for you to poke it out, so maybe you can. Somebody tell me down below if you know, but this is a really nice product. And if you can refill it, that'd be really cool, because it's a really nice compact. You won't have to buy this new quilted compact every time. The product is beautiful though. Absolutely stunning. Next, I have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer. I know after I talked all that crap about them not having my shade coming at the time, which I stand by, because, you know, it's your first time dropping stuff and then my shade in here. I ain't feeling it. Anyway, this is the shade Dark. Since it's wintertime, I bought the shade that works closest for my skin tone now, which is the only one that came out in the summertime. So I couldn't necessarily use them in the summertime. I had to put cream underneath to make it work. But it's a nice product overall. And I did eventually get the shade Deep, which I was kind of disappointed in, because it was just another red bronzer. And I've been talking about how I prefer neutral ones, or like ones like this. But the one like this wasn't deep enough at the time it came out. It was this whole thing. But it's a great product. I have both of them. The funny thing is I use this one more than I use that one. So I think it's just because it was the first one I got, and it was the one I was used to having to use and make work. So that's why I just, you know, make it work. Plus, we've been through this before. I don't like to use red bronzers in wintertime, and it is, December. So it's wintertime here in Chicago. So I've been using that one simply because the other one isn't my preference for the time of year we're in. Next, I have the Glowish Soft Radiant Bronzing Powder in the shade Rich. This feels like you're putting nothing on your face, but you can see the product on there. You can see how it bronzes the skin so beautifully. Only thing, again, this is a red toned bronzer. I wish people would make more neutral and yellow tone ones as opposed to always just giving us this red tone bronzer. You can make other ones. Fenty shows you can make other ones. NARS shows you can make other ones. Somebody else get with them and make some neutral ones and some more, you know, like yellow undertone, instead of always giving us a red undertone bronzer. There are more than one ways to make bronzers. NARS and Fenty has shown you. Can please follow directions. Thank you. But this is a beautiful product. I like it. I will be reaching for it a lot in the summertime. That's the only thing. Like, a lot of my bronzers I don't use now because a lot of them don't work for me now based upon my preference when it comes to bronzer. Now, I don't know if there's other brown people who like me, who like we all don't want to wear red bronzers. Please let me know down below if you like me and you don't want to wear red bronzer in the wintertime, because, you know, you're not necessarily the red undertones are shining through, and maybe you like it. I don't know. Let me know down below. But next I have the Juvia's Place Bronzing Palette. I didn't want to put this in with the palette just because it's only 2 products, so I didn't feel the need to. I have another one that I'm going to show you in a second too. It's only like 2 bronzers, so I didn't see the point. This is a good dupe for the Fenty and Makeup by Mario colors. Because, see, this is more yellow like the one I just showed you from Makeup by Mario. And this is more red like the one that's the shade dark. I'm sorry, the shade Deep from him, because I'm pretty sure when I showed you was dark. And it's more of this color, whereas this is deep. And this is more of the color for his deep shade. But both of these, of course, are going to be cheaper than that. And the formula on these is actually quite good. So if you don't want to spend the high prices on the Makeup by Mario ones, not that they're super high, but, you know, like if you want a budget, Juvia's Place is having 50% off right now while I'm filming this video. I don't know how long it's going to last, but 50% off this is actually quite the steal. So I would recommend that you get your hands on this. This is actually one of my favorite affordable bronzers alongside Makeup Revolution. Now, Makeup Revolution, say what you want about their eyeshadows. We all know they be hit and miss a lot of the times, but their bronzers are always on point, especially when it comes to skin tone. For people with my skin tone, I believe I told y'all that in the blush bronzer and highlight video though for top 3 in each category, so we've already established that. So last bronzer, I guess palette they consider these as, is the, what is this? The matte bronzing brick from what's her name? Victoria Beckham. There's a warm shade and then there's a contour shade apparently. So this is supposed to be the warm shade Terracotta, and then this is the contour shade, which is called Tawny. I didn't know this was supposed to be a contour and a bronzer, so that gives me a different thought about it. But I just used both of them and made them work. Like, I used this one after I put on my cream bronzer, and then I just put this on top of it to give more warmth, because it definitely wasn't giving warmth. It was just, I don't know, I wasn't liking the coloring of the contour. I feel like it's not I guess I wanted to be more like the Kevin Aquan one, and it wasn't, so I wasn't necessarily feeling that. But I do like this product overall. Its powders blend out smoothly. This component is nice and heavy and weighted, and you can buy refills to put in this too. There's this little hole right here. I'm liking that people are starting to do that. It just let you buy a refill as opposed to you having to buy a whole new component. But I feel like when it's a luxury brand, you should have that option, just because, you know, they make you spend all this money. The last bronzer I have to talk about, y'all, I'm sitting up here talking about bronzer for 10 minutes, is the Beauty Butter Powder Bronzer. I have the shade, what is this, Soleil Rich. This is from Westman Atelier again. The formula on this is beautiful. It's just the shades aren't dark enough. Like, this shade I have to wear now again because I can't wear it during the summertime. I feel like it's not going to be warm enough. It's barely warm enough now. I usually put cream bronzer underneath before I use this, so that's my only concern with it. I wish you'd have more shades, like come out with one more shade that actually works for deeper skin tones. Because I know Team Fancy Face said it works on her fine, but like she's Taraji P. Henson shade, and like people my skin tone, we just out of luck. I guess they was like, that's the darkest they gonna go, because it still ain't working for me. Okay, next we're gonna get into some blushes. So I'm starting with the cream blushes, and then we'll go into some powder blushes, and then I got like one blush bronzer combo thing that you'll probably be surprised about. Anyway, so the next one I have is again from Westman Atelier. This is the Baby Cheeks blush stick in the shade Dodo. This came in that combo again. I like the color of this, and actually goes on pretty nice and blends pretty nicely. So I just blend it out and then do a brush to make it even, and then put some powder on top. It's a decent product. I don't know if I would buy it at a regular price again in the full size, but I like it, and I have been using it, so I figured I would talk about it. Next I have the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blushes. These are really nice. My favorite shades is Rose Latte and Cool Berry. The next ones I have to talk about are all powder. So next I have the Glowish Cheeky Vegan Powder Blush. I was surprised at how tiny these were, y'all, till this day. I thought it was going to be like the size of the bronzer. Because matter of fact, let me show you the bronzer. You see what I'm talking about. Look at the difference in size of these. Like, the blush is like a fourth of the size, and I think the blush is only like $2 cheaper than this. So it's like, excuse me, what? Like, excuse me, what? Y'all see this, right? I was like, excuse me, what? And that's why I only got one shade, because I wanted more than one shade, because some of the colors actually look really nice, but I'm glad I didn't, because some of them didn't show up that well. Like, I think I saw Karen bought the coral one, and I think it barely showed up on her, so I'm glad I didn't get it. And she bought the corally one, other peachy one. It was one of the lighter orangish tones ones, and it didn't work out too well for her skin tone, so I was like, if it's not working on Karen, it sure ain't gonna work on me. But this is the shade Charming Cherry. I wanted a cherry shade because I feel like it was different to my collection. I usually have a whole bunch of berry ones or a whole bunch of like coral ones. I've started to try to get into pink, so I figured maybe I'd try this cherry one. Only thing is, I feel like the cherry one is really similar to like a berry tone one, so I don't see that much cherry. It just gives me more like berry. I mean, I know a cherry is a berry, but I mean, y'all know what I mean, like the typical brown girl like berry tone blush is what it gives me, as opposed to being a cherry. I thought it would be more reddish, but I feel like it's not, so I was a little disappointed by that. But the formula of it is really nice, and that's what we're here for to talk about. So I still use it quite a bit because I like the formula on it, but I was disappointed by its size, clearly. Next I have the Vive Paparazzi Sunset Blush in the shade Piazza. This blush is stunning. These are the blushes I told you I use when I can't figure out what blush I want to wear, and I don't know which eyelid, how many eye looks I'm gonna have to do for the day. I'll put on a blush like this because that way it's neutral and blends to the face nicely, and whatever eye look I have, it won't distract from it. At the same time, I can still put on some blush and give that flush to the face. So I love blushes like this. I have like 2 or 3 in my collection. I have Paradise Venus from Mother, and all Mother's blushes are, of course, are fabulous. I love them. I did not bring one with me though, because I didn't want to like possibly break it, because I'm scared that I'm gonna break those, and they're expensive. I have like 5 of them though, so that tells you how much I love them right there. Pat McGrath blushes are definitely deserve to be in this video. I just didn't bring one with me today because I already had like 2 bags full of stuff here with stuff. But Pat McGrath blushes, yes, definitely they should definitely be in here. They are mentioned, like I just said. My favorite shades are, of course, Paradise Venus. I like Divine Rose, and then I like the pink shade Cherish. Love Struck is really nice too. It's just like I'm trying to get over the whole berry blush situation, because I feel like for years I've used like lots of berry blushes, and now I'm going to try different stuff like pinks and peaches. Speaking of pinks and peaches, we have the Soft Pop Powder Blushes from Makeup by Mari. So I have Creamy Peach and Poppy Pink. These are the two shades that I bought. I bought one shimmery and one matte. So the peach one is the shimmery one, and then the Poppy Pink is matte. I like both of these. I like to put this on top of the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I meant to mention those too, but I don't have any. I just had like a little sample packet, so that's why you don't see them. But the Rare Beauty liquid blushes are really nice as well. I should have bought another one of those when I bought the bronzer and the highlighter, but I bought the little $25 holiday set, and it had the peach shade that goes with this in a smaller size for me to use. So those are really great. But Creamy Peach is a good one, and then Poppy Pink is really nice. I was scared that it was gonna be too pink and crazy, so once I saw Jackie Anna use them and we're the exact same skin tone, I was like, okay, it'll be fine, it's safe. So then I went ahead and bought that shade. Moving on, next I have highlighters. So Mother's Divine Rose highlighter is absolutely stunning. I like to mix this with other highlighters, but I usually use it by itself. As you can see, it's been used a bit. You can see that whole little section has just been dug into nicely, because this is a really pretty highlighter. This is the first highlighter I actually liked from her, because y'all know that Hockey Puck one, everybody was like, no, the quality of this, no. And then it had like a weird silverish undertone color to it. I wasn't feeling that either, so I was just like, yeah, no. But this one right here, yes, it's absolutely stunning. It's really nice, and I'm glad to have it in my collection, and I'm glad that she changed the formula, because the formula was not what it was. Then I have this one here. This is Lunar Nude. I like Golden Nectar as well. That's the one that came in her blush collection. And the Divine Rose one I just showed you came in the, what collection is that? It came with the blush collection. But this is the one that's for the holiday collection this year, with a nice imprint of the crown on it. It's really nice. I just bought the Bridgerton collection, and it has two highlighters like this. I'm probably going to give one away to my friend Jackie for her birthday, because I don't need the silver icing one, and since she's lighter, of course it'll be working better for her. But all the Pat McGrath highlighters she came out with this year were amazing. So Divine Rose is good, Lunar Nude is good, and Golden Nectar is good. I like all of them. Bravo, mother, bravo. Or bravo, Dame Pat McGrath. Next I have the LYS Aim High Pressed Highlighter Powder in the shade Genuine. I really love rose gold highlighters. People, my skin tone, I like rose gold ones. I like peachy gold ones. And then occasionally I'll do like a champagne gold one. But I'm not really big on gold highlighters, so I prefer rose gold or peachy toned highlighter. But as you can see, I've dug into this one as well. I really like to mix this with the Dior highlighter I told y'all about in my disappointing video, because the color of that just to me is off. But when I mix it with this, I always feel like it looks the way I expected it and wanted it to look on its own. But I think it's sad, because that one's like 50 bucks and this is only like, I think 20, don't quote me. It's not more than 30 bucks for this highlighter, and that one's like 50, and I have to mix this one with it in order to like the way it looks. So these are stunning. I hope she comes out with more colors. I know she had a bronze shade that I wanted to try as well, but I have prettier bronze highlighters. I got this one in particular because rose gold highlighters are far and few and hard to find. So I was happy about it. The last one I have to talk about, and as expensive as this was, I feel like you should have known it was going to be here. Plus, it's actually a pretty nice highlighter. I think it's overpriced for what it is. But, you know, since I own it, we was going to show it. And this is the Hermes Perma Brass highlighter in shade number 1. This is what she looks like. The embossment has come off mine because I've been using it so much. But again, this thing is expensive. So yeah, I'm going to use it. I know you can't see, but the embossing, like all, and this part right here has come off just because I use it so much, girl. I'm trying to show it at an angle where you can see. Yeah, see? Like that whole section right there is starting to come off because I've been using it a bit. But, you know, I'm going to take it back home and use it some more too, because it's like a $98 highlighter. I need to use it every waking moment, every day, till I hit pan on it, because it costs damn near $100. And that's just ridiculous. Now, let's get into our face palettes. So, I have one bronzer palette that's literally just bronzers and highlighter. Then I have some blush palettes. And then I have one highlighter palette. So I'm going to do the bronzer one first, just like I did with the other ones. I'm going to do the blush ones. And then I will do the one highlighter one last. Even though the highlighter one is from the same one as one of the blush brands. But alas, that's the way I plan on doing it. So let's get started. So I have this Tanned and Tulam bronzing and highlighting palette from BH Cosmetics. First of all, I was just happy that it came up with bronze for anybody who was lighter than, you know, like medium, because they've been known for not having any bronzers for like anybody after a certain skin tone. But I mean, when you don't have no black people working for you, you probably didn't know how to even go about making them. But whose fault is that? It's black people with college degrees. Hi, I'm one of them. Anyway, I hope they rectify that situation, because Pool for Change hasn't called them out to make sure that they have actually hired any black people for their corporation, since they got called out for not having any black people working there. But this is still a nice product, and I know everybody can't afford to buy like a higher price bronzer, and this gives you good variety. So like in the wintertime, I can use like possibly these two, whereas in the summertime I know I can use this one. Like, I don't see myself ever being able to use this one, but like being able to use 3 out of the 4 bronzers in here is nice, and then being able to use both the highlighters is nice. So I figured for people who want a more affordable option, who can't necessarily afford to get a more expensive one, this is a good drugstore affordable option for you. Other than, like I told y'all, Makeup Revolution bronzers, they are really great, but no Makeup Revolution bronzers came out this year, and I'm trying to stick to stuff that came out this year for the most part, and I think everything I'm about to show came out this year, so that's good. Now let's move on to the blushes, because that's literally the only bronzer palette I have. We have the Love Sprung face palette. This is volume 7 from Artist Couture. Y'all know I love Artist Couture. I love this set because you have the shimmery highlight, this shimmery blush right here if you want to use it as that. I use this as a highlighter personally, or sometimes I use it on top of the shade Infatuated to have a more shimmery blush effect to it. But this is like just like that Piazza shade I showed you all that I really love. This is another one I like to use. And then it has the Lotus Love, which is like a berry tone shade for like the winter time, like we're in now, which is more when I wear these berry tones. I usually try to like stick to berries in the winter, and then use like the peaches and the corals in the summertime, along with the bright pinks. But this is a really good palette. The formula on this is really nice, and I'm so glad that he came out with this product, because I was hoping that he would come out with more items in his collection this year, and he did. Now y'all know we wasn't gonna get through a video where I have my major headlines blush palette from Patrick Ta. Now I think the cream blushes came out last year, and he just came out with this palette this year. Don't quote me. Either way, I had to have it in here. If you all remember, mine broke and I just never replaced it. I bought a new one and gave it to you all instead of taking mine back to Sephora, because I was lazy. Don't judge. But this blush palette is amazing. I can finally take it home and be able to use it some more, because it's been sitting in the bag here for like a week and a half because I was too lazy to film this video. Don't judge me. Next we have the Corte Rosa palette from Sigma. When they had the eyeshadow palette come out, when the eyeshadow palette came out, I believe this came out, or this came out after the eyeshadow palette, something like that. I ended up getting both at the same time, but they had a bundle deal going on their website, and then they ended up having 40% off sale. So of course y'all know I snatched it up with the quickness. I grabbed this, I grabbed the eyeshadow palette that matched it because they had a bundle set, and then I grabbed the highlighter palette you're going to see later on, based upon my girl Karen Harris's recommendation, talking about how nice the product was. But this is what it looks like on the inside. Of course my favorite shade is Corte Rosa, but I also like this shade right here, and of course there's Coral Down. I don't really use the shimmering ones, but when I do, I use this one Bronze Star, but I usually use that as a highlighter. And then the shade Nearly Wild, I think I've used that too. So the only shade I have not used, let's see, the only shade I haven't used is this shade Senorita. But these blushes in here are really nice. They're really smooth, really pigmented, and they look beautiful on the skin. So when I want tones like this, I'll usually go to this palette, or go to that Patrick Ta one, or go to the Artist Couture one you just saw. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in and what kind I like. But Corte Rosa is a great blush. Now I see why everybody's raving about it for so long, because I used to be like, why are people raving about this Sigma blush? Like, what makes it so special? But after I got the palette, then I saw the light. Next I have the Lunar Beauty Cheek palette from Lunar Beauty. This is the Moon Prism palette. I told y'all to grab this one. It's 50% off, because I know it's been out for a while, but I just got mine this year. I think I found it on Bakerie, and then they end up selling it on Beautydealsbff for like 50% off later in the year after I had already tried this. I usually stick to the end of this palette though. So like these two shades down here on the end I usually use. Occasionally I will go into the shade right here. I feel like I need to try this shade though, because it looks pretty. And then there's like the shimmering one right here I'm going to try. I want to put this on top of this shade next time. But the shades in here for the most part look fine. The only one I feel like won't show up on me is this one. I know I saw Jackie with this palette, and I was scared that it wasn't going to show up on us. But once I saw it showed up on her, I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance, because you know, If it shows up on Jackie, it shows up on me because Jackie and I are the same skin tone. And the formula on these is simply beautiful. This palette is amazing. Now I do have the Makeup by Tammy That's So Cheeky palette. This palette is extremely pigmented, so proceed with caution with it, girl. Y'all saw my video when I did the video on her eyeshadow palette. I had used this, and girl, I was out here looking crazy because they were so pigmented. But I like really pigmented palettes, and what I like about this is she gave me a rose gold highlighter. I told you I live for a rose gold highlighter, and as you can see, I have dug into hers. I haven't used the gold that much, but I have dug into this rose gold highlighter, honey. Yes, and these blushes are simply stunning. Like, I love these unique bright colors that I feel like look great on people my skin tone that you don't traditionally see in palettes. So I definitely appreciate this one, and you need to check out Tammy's face palette That's So Cheeky. This is the deeper one, but she has one for lighter skin tones, and she says she can wear both of them still. So I was really happy with that, because I'm like, that means I can wear both if she can wear both, because, you know, Tammy's just, I make maybe a couple shades lighter than him. She's like more around Adriangameover and my mom's shade, because they're both lighter than I am. But I really love this palette, and I was so excited. The last palette I have to talk about is this Glow Kissed palette from Sigma. I love this palette. This highlighter palette is amazing. It is beautiful. They blend to your skin so nicely. I've only used these two, and I think this one. So I've only used the bottom row. The top row looks like it'd be nice for inner corner on my eyelid, because those shades are gonna be too ashy for my skin tone. That's the only thing about highlighter palettes. They try to make them work for everybody, which means it doesn't literally have every shade work for everyone. But anyway, those are all my recommendations. So I hope, not recommendations, Jesus, favorites. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.